Hi friends, Stefan and Ton here, just jumping on to share an update. It's been probably a few weeks that I haven't gotten on here, and I just wanted to share a little bit. I've finished infusion 2, and I would say that it went really well. I have my infusions every Tuesday, so I'll have my third infusion this coming Tuesday. And then I always unplug on Thursday, so I have a few days where the chemo is pumping into my body. The symptoms this last run were not too bad, but I would say the symptoms are probably stronger in the front end of the week, treatment week, and then after like maybe 4 or 5 days, it starts getting a little less and less. And then the following week when I'm off, it's a lot more manageable. So I would say a few of the symptoms, cold sensitivity. So when right after I get the infusion, I start not being able to touch anything cool or cold. And a lot of times when I get home, if I'm going to wash my hands in the sink, I always forget that I turn on the cooler water, and Anthony will hear me yelp. It usually take a couple times for me to remember and not do that anymore. But even like touching a cold drink or having ice in my water, or even tap water has to sit like from the refrigerator. It's just too cold, and it'll cause it feels like fiberglass almost. Like that's the only way I can describe it. Like glass shards in my going down my throat. So can't do that. Can't drink it. Can't touch it. Another funny one that no one told me about, but anytime I get emotional, on the way home from the infusion, we were listening to this beautiful song on the phone, and I got kind of moved, and my eyes started welling up, and I started kind of twitching, like in pain. And Anthony's like, "What? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "My tears are hurting." Apparently, my tears are too cold for my body. Like it happened, like I would say 3 times that week. It's like, you can't cry, Stephanie. Don't cry. It's gonna be really painful. Um, so that was kind of an interesting side effect that no one really mentioned that I would have. Um, I call it the first bite syndrome, but for the first week, if I take a bite of anything, I had to be really gentle with eating my first bite. If I go ahead and just eat like normal, it's like how could I describe it? Almost like chomp too hard on the side of your jaw, or like almost like a tooth sensitivity where it's just like you can feel it like seize all the way up your jaw. And so you have to be really careful with the first bite of food, which is kind of weird, is pretty weird as well. Nausea, I mean, I was taking anti-nausea medication every 8 hours, and I've been doing that pretty much every day. There were times where I was like, I think I'm feeling okay, and I waited to take the medication, and then I was in bad shape because I waited too long. So I've kind of learned it's okay. You just need to take the anti-nausea medication every 8 hours, and that will manage it. Still getting used to, I feel like I'm still experimenting with like my medication regimen and like the timing of it, but I feel like this week I finally got down in a good timing of the medication, like, or close to it. So now I finally have filled up, like one of those medication trays with morning medications and evening medications, and I put time, reminders on my phone, every single time I need to take medicine, which is quite a lot. But Anthony keeps telling me, Stephanie, the medication is there to help you. You know, let's use the tools to help you. And so I've had to kind of let go of the idea of, like, it's fine, I don't have to, I have a high pain tolerance. And he's like, why are you letting yourself be in pain? Use the medication so that you don't get to a bad spot. And so working with me. I'm kind of stubborn, but I've been getting better this week about just taking medication on time and not letting myself kind of go in a bad spot. Um, this last week I was off and I definitely kind of tested my limits, even like on just like a more of like what could I do for fun and work. Just trying to figure out how much can I work. And I've kind of found a sweet spot. I think like 32 hours a week of work is probably a good spot for me. 32 to 35 depending, and luckily my job is pretty flexible. But every Thursday and Friday during treatment week, I just really need to have flex and be able to just be like, I'm not doing anything today. I'm resting. I'm going to sleep all day. I'm going to do nothing today. I'm just going to let my body rest. I've really been having to listen to my body. And yeah, this last week, Anthony and I, we decided to take a Wednesday off. We went to Bar Lake, which is in Colorado. We're bird enthusiasts, bird watchers. And anyone that knows me, I'm an animal lover. I love birds. I love dogs. I love going to the zoo. But I'm a big bird. I call myself a bird nerd, but bird nerd, bird watcher, whatever you want to call it. So we went to Bar Lake for, I want to say 3 or 4 hours, and we were just in our element. It was like one of the best days I've had in the last year. I had so much fun. Anthony and I, we saw eagles, we saw a pelican, we saw snowy egrets, we saw eastern and northern, what are they called? Kingbirds, and all these other different species I've never seen before. So I was just like, Anthony and I both were on a high. We were just like, this is awesome. But it was hot. And trying to figure out my medicine and still being able to, have a bathroom close by and being in the car for, almost 3 hours that day. By the time I got home, I was toast. And the next day I paid for it. I really probably went past my limit. But it was worth it. It was such a good day. It felt like one of those days that I didn't have cancer. And yeah, it was just amazing. And then, sorry, getting emotional. But the next day and the few days past it, it was like, whoa, okay. Like the reality of, no, you have cancer. Your body's hit the limit. You pushed it a little too hard. I had lots of bloat in my stomach. I was having a hard time going. I was having pain. I was exhausted. And I think Anthony and I both kind of, came down from our high and were like, okay, this is real. Like I have limitations. There's only so much I can do. Even eating this last week, there's a real thing with food fatigue, because I've been on this like soft food diet for so long already, and you can only eat cottage cheese and kiwi and oatmeal and soft foods for so long, where you're like, I'm so tired of this. I don't think, or even like eating out, my family's tired. Like they want, sometimes they don't feel like cooking. I'm so thankful. Anthony is a chef and he could whip up anything, but he gets exhausted too. And there was a few days this last week where we're so tired, let's just get takeout. And the thing is like, well, what can Stephanie eat? And there's very limitations. It's like, okay, do you want to go get pho? I can have pho. This last week we tried shredded beef enchilada with rice and beans, and that was a win. Like I was like, oh yes, this is so good. Like best meal of my life, in the moment, because I haven't had anything, different in so long. And that was great. Another night we got Chinese food, and I got some tofu with vegetables, and I got like a really skinny rice noodle dish, and not good for me. Like, I was so bummed. It was delicious, but it did not go well, the next day. I was in a lot of pain. So it's just been like I said, experimenting, trying to figure out, okay, what can we do? But I have to say, like, I think we're figuring it out. We're staying positive. We're continuing to try things, and it's just that kind of settling into the reality of like, no, I'm sick, and it affects so many different areas of our lives. One thing I do want to say is, for those of you that are going through something hard, or a health crisis, really any kind of crisis, to be honest, one of the things that has been grounding for me the most has been my relationship with God, and sharing that with my community in relationship. And a friend of mine was like, hey, Steph, I was praying for you, and I really felt like I needed to tell you, strongly encourage you to do communion every day. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And Stephanie, I don't know what it is about me, but I'm like, that's such a good idea, but I'd love to do it with other people. So I have someone that I do communion on Mondays with my parents. I do communion with another prayer warrior mentor on Tuesdays, another mentor, one of my closest friends, Wednesdays, another mentor and prayer warrior on Thursdays, and another one on Fridays. That's a lot. And sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't, but we spend maybe 20 minutes on a Zoom, on a FaceTime call, and just pray together and speak authority over my body, that God is gonna heal me, that we're declaring his healing over my body, that the chemo is working, praising him, for giving us, asking for forgiveness for any sins or things that we may have done. And it's amazing, because every single time I have that time, or have that personal time with God on the weekends, I feel so much better. Like, I feel relief. I feel peace. I try to do a daily check-in with God, daily office, in the mornings, afternoons, and evenings when I have time. I use Lectio 365 on my phone. It's one of the best apps. I love it. I'll go to sleep to it at night if I'm having trouble sleeping. But prayer and office time with God, and meditating on scriptures and declaring scriptures out loud, there's something about it. Like, I just want to encourage any of you that are walking through something really hard, that is so powerful. So I wanted to share that as well, believing in God and having faith that he has the last say about things. He has a plan and purpose for our lives. And I don't know why this is happening, but I also have peace, because I'm like, God, if you want to use this for your glory, go for it. Like, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. We don't know the time of things in the future. We can live for today and be thankful for what we have today. And I've gone to multiple doctors at this point, and I think the elephant in the room is, how much time do I have? Like, I had a doctor tell me, oh, maybe 5 years. I had another doctor tell me maybe 2 years. I had another doctor saying, maybe 10 years. Could be 40. Who knows? It's hard, because the statistics are stacked against me. But I don't live by statistics. I live by faith. And I know that I honestly don't feel like it's my time yet. And if God wants to tell me otherwise, then I'm going to have to be okay with that, because he's God. But I do know that, like, with time and how long, I do have on the earth, I do want to be intentional. I have 2 boys. I have the love of my life, Anthony, who is just my best friend, someone that I cherish. I've been so blessed to have in my life. I want to spend as much time, quality time with my kids and my husband and my family. Everything else, honestly, kind of goes, just isn't as important. Like, it's funny how when something like this happens, your priorities become very clear. And so it's hard to plan things too far in advance these days. I would say anyone going through this kind of diagnosis, I would say, can't really plan anything more than 2 to 3 weeks out, because you just don't know. And I think Anthony's a dreamer, and he's, man, I'd love for us to go to Bora Bora someday and go see the Northern Lights and go to Alaska and go to Hawaii with the family and all these things. And I would love to do all those things. But I also am at like peace. Like, I am pretty content with the day-to-day moments that I get to have, the moments of like putting your kids to bed and seeing them sleep soundly and kissing their foreheads and praying over them and having quality conversations with Max, answering him questions about who knows what, questions he has about the Bible, questions he has about, things he's going through at school, sitting and watching a funny show with Alexander, building a Lego set. All those things are way more important to me than, checking off locations and places I need to look at. Of course, I want to experience those other things, but really, I'm okay as long as I can have some quality time with my family. So these are all my musings for now, and everything that's on my heart today to share with you. I love you all so much, and I hope that anything that I've shared is encouraging to you, whatever you're walking through. We're all walking through something. It's life. I mean, right? It's like God is always there, right there, waiting for you to come to Him, to talk to Him, to lean on Him. He shows up. He's faithful. He's good. So whatever you're walking through, I encourage you to talk to God about it. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for continuing to pray. I would say in the next 4 weeks, I'm going to have another scan, and my hope is that the cancer cells have shrunk. If they're all gone, great. I'd be good with that too. But even if it's shrunk even a little bit, I think we could schedule surgery for my liver and get that under control, and then we can look at next steps. But yeah, pray for my scans. Pray that the cancer is kind of under control, that it doesn't go anywhere else. The cancer cells will diminish. My good cells will be bolstered. I will have good health. So, and I'm declaring that for myself. Love you so much. Until next update, take care, and we'll talk soon. Much love.